Listen up, all of you Elden Ring medal-less tarnished, you Zelda errand boys, and Red Dead Redemption 2 cowboys. Hold your horses. I have lined up all the reasons why these games don't even come close to Ghost of Tsushima's open world. By the end of this video, you might go out and buy a PS5 to play it, so don't click away just yet. This all started when I abandoned streaming games like Jedi Survivor, Hogwarts Legacy, Nier Automata, Death Stranding, Ascent, and so many others. What did these games have in common? Well, they have an open world design. One of the main reasons for not finishing them is that they never gripped me, whether for the story or for gameplay. Oh man, don't even get me started on the games that I didn't even touch because I know for a fact they won't be fun. Games like Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, Forspoken, Watch Dogs, Rage 2. What even is that? Most of these games don't even have to be open world. They are open world just for the heck of it. Oh, by the way, a fun game for you guys. Take a shot every time I say open world in this video. Try to survive that. But when I booted up Ghost of Tsushima again this past month, because my son wanted to play it, bad parenting, I know, I realized it's not the open world concept that sucks. It's just that these games are flat out bad at using it. Ghost of Tsushima does things right. It does open world right. Let me explain why. Alright, why does Ghost have a better open world than all these other games? I'm glad you asked. It has a special feel to it, and I can sum up that feeling with one word: immersion. I will talk more about that in the later part of the video, but let's get back to the beginning. What happened was, just because a few open world games made a shit ton of money, everyone wanted to get on that bandwagon. But I swear to God, some of these open world games could just have been linear games. They have absolutely no reason to have massive empty open worlds with little to no purpose. These worlds exist to do one thing: pad the runtime. Because more hours equal to a better game, right guys?
I was acting.
Most modern open world games boil down to a lifeless NPC telling you to go somewhere and do something that doesn't affect the character or the game world at all. And bam, you just wasted your time on a stupid mission that probably would have been better off in a linear game. Don't even get me started on those mindless collectibles that have little to no effect on the experience. Okay, I want to put things into perspective here. And for that, I'm gonna have to pick on and bully some top tier games that are out there. You're gonna have to stay with me here for a hot second. I promise this will all make sense by the end. So strap in. If you're watching this in a car, or just sit down, you might want to sit down for this one. Let's start with Red Dead Redemption 2. We all know this is an iconic game, right? Unless you are living under a rock, you have at least heard of everyone singing praises of its realism, its gripping story, characters, realistic skinning of animals? No, sure, why not? But everyone also knows, which they might deny, that Red Dead Redemption 2 has issues. It does most exploration and world building pretty well, but the gameplay loop kills it for me. It comes down to game's pacing. Traversing from one point to another really becomes a chore after a few hours. Pressing a button and letting the horse move on its own isn't really on my list of fun, engaging gameplay. Hell, they even aim the gun for you sometimes. And shooting the 100th guy in a row on a single mission gets tedious. Yeah, that's right. I'm calling you out, Garma. The gunplay, weapon switching, and how all of the UI is handled makes me feel like the game was actually developed during the Wild Wild West days. I would highly recommend you watch this video from Neki JK that goes more into detail of why this is a problem. And lastly, as beautiful as this world looks, I started using fast travel increasingly rather than traveling on my horse.
Yeah, there's a girl.
On my horse.
Ah, boy.
Alright Arthur, we get it. Red Dead Redemption 2 is an excellent open world game, with missions and sections that feel like a great linear game. Those two elements just don't work well together for it. But that is an issue this next game doesn't have. Elden Ring. Boy, are the comments gonna be wild for this one. Who hasn't heard of this, right? This is touted as the best open world game by many, and my Discord server doesn't shut up about it. Elden Ring is a game that spoils people to other open world games. It's true if you like suffering, but that is where it cuts me off. For the most part, you come across a boss, die 19 times, break your third controller, cry in a corner, and decide to go out and explore. The goal to explore is to get strat upgrades, come back, and then defeat the boss. Satisfying, right? Well, during the exploration, you will also come across stuff that you don't really need for that boss, or encounter more bosses that may change your priorities, and that will set you off on a different path, losing the focus on why you went out exploring in the first place. I don't know, that just gets me exhausted and lose focus. So to avoid that, I kept trying to beat the same boss, because the previous From Software game taught me that by trying over and over, I can beat the odds. Look, Elden Ring being a difficult game is nothing new. It's From Software's MO at this point. But what is bullshit is scaling of that difficulty during the endgame. The damage scaling is so insane that you would die in barely 3 hits, even with almost 50 levels of vigor. It feels like the game is asking you to switch to overpowered builds, which would cheapen the experience, especially when you've been using your trusty build for a good while. And you most probably will not agree with me and are writing those hate comment or get good comments as we speak. To all of you, I want to say that really helps my videos engagement. So thank you.
Gotcha, bitch!
While we're on the topic of engagement, Horizon Forbidden West. In it, I just forgot about the world and stuck to the missions. Nothing really pulled me to do the extra content. Sure, the cauldrons are interesting, but apart from getting to hack more machines, I don't really see a reason to do them. The side missions were also basically killing a monster machine. You have to go to a different location each time by tracking it for 15 minutes and then talking to a quest guy for 15 more pointless minutes of pointless robotic dialogue with choices that don't do anything. The story, albeit interesting, is again littered with boring shit between the good parts. What sucks is that open world also is just killing more machines. That makes exploring the world pointless. There was never a moment in my entire playthrough where I was going to an objective marker and something made me stop and want to explore. It never happened. Speaking about a game that lets you explore, how can I not talk about Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild? Now, fair disclaimer, I will not use any footage from Breath of the Wild because Nintendo will basically own this video. So what I'm gonna do is play Sekiro gameplay in the background because I want all of you fuckers to watch more Sekiro. Elden Ring who? People on my Discord server, yes, by the way, there is a channel Discord server, you should join, it's a lot of fun. So people there know that I've been playing Breath of the Wild a lot. And it's one of those open world games that explores the sense of wonder. And I have to admit, it is insanely fun. But there was a point where you kinda need a drive to keep going, and it seems to be lost because the whole story is thrown in the sidelines. The main objective is to kill Ganon and rescue Zelda, and most of what you do is to prepare you for that challenge. But story-wise, there is so much you could end up missing, and you do start losing motivation. I know I did, and if you're wondering, no, I might never replay the game once I'm done with it. I know you might be thinking why this weirdo talking about other games that are not Ghost of Tsushima in a Ghost of Tsushima video. No, you did not get clickbaited. Like I said, I wanted you all to have a perspective to understand where I'm coming from. So finally, let's get to what you clicked on this video for. Me shelling on a Ninja Samurai game that is not Sekiro for once. Ghost feels so immersive because there is no minimap on the game. It encourages you to use your surrounding and your eyes to learn and explore the world. When you don't have sensory overload with minimap, objective markers and other random shit like a fucking light beam on your screen, you feel a lot more immersed. The characters, the environment, the exploration, everything feels personal, grounded and real. Ghost of Tsushima also doesn't just hand over the whole open world to you. Most missions in Act 1 are around the first area called Izuhara. The island of Tsushima is broken down into 3 sections and each act plays out in one of these sections. You can still explore these locations, but all you'll find is more formidable enemies and some side missions. But you are very much encouraged to finish one area first and then go back to the harder areas. This is such a smart game design, and it funnels you into having fun by not giving you all the options and just limiting your focus on one fairly dense area. It's really funny how it works when you think about it. Any fatigue you may have after looking at the giant map is not there anymore. This also helps emphasize the map variety, and it doesn't feel lifeless like most recent open world games. By the first act, you have mostly explored Izuhara and become familiar with it. And as that happens, Toyotama opens up in chapter 2, and now there is even more variety. It feels fresh, rewarding, and amps up the challenge. All of this would have no impact if there was no narrative beat pushing you through. I mean, look at this scene.
I trained you to fight with honor.
Honor died on the beach. The Khan deserves to suffer.
The game has this bombastic opening where all the samurais lose and are slaughtered. Jin is one of the few survivors out of sheer luck and is saved by a thief named Yuna, not before him trying to beat this guy alone. So when Jin collects himself and sets a goal to free his captured uncle, you are set free with this insane opening that still gives me chills even to this goddamn day.
I like this. This is cute. I want this inside of me.
Now Jin has to formulate a plan and recruit new allies. And it kind of goes like this. Help me save my uncle. Hell no. I got my own shit to deal with, man. Well, how about I scratch your back and you scratch mine? What, like you got an itch on your back? Sure, I can get it for you. I guess turn around. What? No. I'm saying I'll help you with your stuff and you help me with mine. Deal? Oh. Okay, deal. Just speak normal next time, bro. So after scratching some backs, Jin now has recruits to ambush the castle to save his uncle. Narratively, doing this quest also weakens Mongol forces, which means there will be fewer enemies for them to face during the ambush, further making sense of this open world narrative structure. You will never find asking yourself, why am I killing these guys? Or why am I liberating this camp? A great example is finding the killers that slaughtered Masuko's family. This not only brings peace to her, but is basically reducing traitors on the land so Jin doesn't have to worry about them during the final battle. Each major side character you meet or interact with has their own string of stories that you will tackle over time and learn more about them. Even the horse gets a story arc, for fuck's sakes. This is the type of narrative that drives the game, and it never feels like I lost the sense of goal like I did with Breath of the Wild. This also holds true for his side quest. Jin has a lot riding on his shoulders, so when he sits down to do a haiku or take a bath, you know he needs it to keep his mind focused and heal. Or how about this bamboo strikes? It keeps his skills in check. Even the side missions have so much character to them. Like a woman who lies to you so you kill some bandits, which enables her to steal their food. I won't spoil the story for other side missions, but they are personal with little nuances like these. Then there is the gameplay loop. We can break it down into two simple things: exploration and combat. When it comes to exploration, the island is just drop dead gorgeous. That alone is an excellent motivation to explore the island of Tsushima. But the game goes above and beyond. At this point, you know that the game doesn't use a minimap. So how does one know where to go? And boy, this shit is clever and intuitive. Get this. Once the mission begins, the wind starts guiding you. And if you need more help, you can swipe on the touchpad and the wind starts blowing again. It's bonkers how simple yet fun this mechanic is. While exploring, there are no icons, no health bar, nothing on your HUD. Everything is hidden and all you see is Jin and this beautiful island. Some missions don't even have map markers. You have to use the information that is given to you, like find the location of this enemy by following the purple flowers, or this trail of dead bodies. Immersion at its peak. Ghost even does collectibles right. They are not just random map markers on a map, but a golden bird actually starts flying with you, and if you follow it, it will lead you to a secret location. That is so sick. Each collectible serves a purpose in giving you stuff that will enhance your gameplay experience, and they are also fun to collect. You know, fun? the thing we want from the games we play. Except for you Soulsborne players, you guys are just masochistic. This makes movement from point A to point B more interesting, unlike the turn off your mind and follow this objective marker monkey brain bullshit. I never imagined a third-person open-world action-adventure game to have a great, engaging combat system. Ghost of Tsushima shattered that belief for me in the best possible way. The way Ghost approaches combat is absolutely incredible. You have 4 stances which you can switch on the fly. You have 4 range attacks which includes 2 bow types that you can also switch on the fly. 4 special moves which you can switch on the fly. And you have 4 throwables which you can also, say it with me, switch on the fly. You guys didn't say it with me, did you?
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
The sword combat was actually tougher than I expected. The enemy AI is relentless in active combat, flanking you from every possible angle if you don't pay attention. The parry mechanic is so well crafted and it never gets old. And you guys know how I feel about parry mechanics that never get old. Oh, and these standoffs are literally the best thing ever. Enemy variety is also bonkers. Every different enemy type demands you to take a different stance, use different strategies, and prioritize which enemy you want to take out first. I don't want to give away much for anyone who has not experienced it, but I will say this, the combat system is unlike any game in this genre, and you will never get tired of it. So what's not to love? The stealth. I did not love the stealth. I mean, it is bare bones, the kill animations are top notch, but during the stealth sessions, the enemy AI just pieces out, I guess. Anywho, that is a very small blemish on an otherwise excellent combat system. On Friday, May 12, 2023, when Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom launched, I bet employees of the studios that were also working on open world games were really scared to go to office that following Monday. Not everyone can make a game like that at that scale and make it work. And that is my point. There are other ways to achieve an open world game where open world serves a purpose. Island of Tsushima was attacked by Mongols. So that backdrop immediately is fair for a game to have an open world structure. Sure, it can be a linear game too, but being open world helps its narrative. And Sucker Punch took advantage of that, which is why this video exists. They made it open world so it could be fun. And a wise man once said,
"If it's not fun, why bother?"
It also helps that Ghost of Tsushima is a short game. Doing the main quest along with a decent amount of side quests that are satisfying would still take no more than 30 hours. Assassin's Creed games, for example, just got bigger. So for that, the content had to be stretched out. Their whole marketing deal for some time was how big their map is compared to the last one. Now the problem with this was the bigger the maps got, the less parkour you could do, which was the whole damn point of the Assassin's Creed games. After Assassin's Creed Valhalla, people demanded for a smaller, focused Assassin's Creed game. So they are now making one with Assassin's Creed Mirage. It's clearly not just me who is thinking like that. People reminded Ubisoft that bigger isn't always better. They have to give smaller, average-sized things a try.
That's what she said.
Michael, please. Please.
Speaking of Ubisoft, their whole open world design can be summed up into one excellent game that they actually managed to put out. Far Cry 3. Now that is one of those open world games that I would actually like to revisit. It basically did what Ghost of Tsushima does so well. Small, focused game design, the map is big but not huge, missions are fun, side missions are a blast, and whatever you do makes you better equipped for the upcoming challenge. Where Far Cry 3 falters is in its story, and the sense of urgency is what Ghost of Tsushima nails. All of this is not to say that I hate all the other open world games, or I'm gonna stop playing them. I am super pumped for Spider-Man 2. And I loved Spider-Man and Spider-Man Miles Morales. But do I feel like going back and playing the whole game again? Maybe a couple of times. But I'm reminded of the dull moments with MJ missions or the dumb puzzles that just take up time. I go back to it just to swing as Spider-Man, to feel like Spider-Man, or to feel what it's like to have
full of the exaggerated swagger of a black teen.
Yeah, that dude actually put that in a video. Everything you do in Ghost of Tsushima is as Jin. It's his journey from a samurai to a ghost through and through. And there's never a dull moment. Oh god, I haven't even talked about the Legends mode. It is the best fucking live service game that is not a live service game. The Ghost of Tsushima Legends is a PvE multiplayer mode that was updated for free. You heard me right. Free! Sucker Punch managed to make a multiplayer mode that rewards grinding, has different classes that you can buff and make them your own, and has cooperative elements that will make you care about your teammates because you need them to win. And they did it on the first try. Games like Anthem, Avengers, Gotham Knights, all of this struggled with this for so long and gave up. These games were designed with this model in mind, and they still couldn't figure it out. How the fuck did Sucker Punch do this in their first try? That is some next level shit right there. At the end of the day, this is just my personal opinion. It doesn't factor in what it takes to make a game, or how many open world games I've managed to play, or what the men in suits think is best for their business. All I can do is talk as a person who has been playing video games for almost 30 years of his life. For Jin, his honor died on the beach that day. For me, after I replayed Ghost of Tsushima, my belief that all modern open world games are bad died. Open world games can be good when done right. Thanks for watching.